Hello, good evening, and welcome to another Sunday. No, it's not Sunday, it's Wednesday. Wednesday YouTube. Sunday was Facebook. Okie doke. So I'm just getting myself ready to get the screen down onto the table. Hopefully somebody will come in and join me shortly. I'm a little bit late going live this evening because I've just been out to deliver customer orders, got a little bit waylaid, and then come in all in a panic getting ready. So I'm here now, and I'm going to be bringing you some more songbirds. So if any of you joined me on Sunday, I'll quickly do a recap of the card that I was doing then. And I've got a bit of an embossing technique. I have an idea up here. Hi Shaz, lovely to see you. I have an idea up here that I had in my mind for Sunday to follow up with. So I think we're going to have a go at that. In the very least, it's going to be an idea that you'll be able to take forward onto another card, but we're going to hopefully all pull it together. So let me just get you down onto the table. Move you across there. There we go. And then I can see that one like so. So the card, just to recap quickly, the Songbird Stamp and Punch bundle are really, really cute. Gonna love this one. It was one that was on my list, but only arrived last week. Hence I used it straight out of the UPS box on Sunday. Hi Anne, lovely to see you. So we're gonna do another little bit with this. Again, I'm winging it. My life seems to be always on the rush at the moment. But hey, I'm here and we're going to have fun. So just to recap quickly what I did with Songbirds on Sunday. This is over on my Facebook page, so you can always pop back there and have a look if you didn't watch me. We had some fun doing these clouds. And the other evening I had 3 Ukrainian children here. One of which is over opposite me at the moment, painting a mask with some acrylic paint. So she's in here with me as well. And 2 others that are local. And we had them doing these clouds the other night on their different cards. Really, really clever. So really had fun doing this one. Really nice. After the recording, I added another bird on here. Some like it with 2, some liked it with the 1. But hey, that's my first one. So tonight I want to play with the embossing tools. So I'm going to grab those first. And I have something that you might or might not have seen me play with. Just for tonight, for quickness, I have an old wooden chopping board, which I sometimes use with the heat embossing because it won't melt the mat and it just saves me, messing about a little bit. So I have got my tub here with all my embossing folders in, all my embossing powders. Oh, can't get me words together. I have got a glass of water, so I am a little bit dehydrated, but I will be slurping. Now, my question is, I don't know which colour to do this with at the moment. So I'm going to be showing you a technique. I've put the piece of paper on here just for the time being to work on. But what I've got in here is just getting out my papers that I use. It's heat and stick, I don't want that one. When I'm doing my embossing, I have in my box, I have all the different powders that we have. And I use them like this. Heat and stick is different colour because I wanted it to stand out. So I use different ones because when you are heat embossing, if you get flecks of like that, might be a piece of black powder, I don't know. If you get flecks left in here and you tip it back, you could be putting flecks of black into a white pot. You could put in silver in a white pot, whatever. So I like to just keep one for each of them, okay, as we've used over the course. So I haven't got one for what I'm going to try with you tonight. Now, this is going to be I hope it'll be different for a lot of you. I have my Versamark pad here, and I have something, and I want the first person to come up and tell me if they recognise what it is. Okay, we have a reel, and I'm going to be doing something with the embossing powders. So I'm just going to shuffle my chair slightly to the left. There we go. So this has been a big favourite of mine, and it's very cheap and cheerful in our current economic climate. It's one to get out. I have had this for an awful lot of years, and I mean an awful lot. So I'm going to turn it on its side and see if that gives you any more clues as to what it is. Okay, I know we've got a couple of people on here already. So have you seen anything that looks like this? I had one customer who recognised when I asked. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to bring you some mesh. Now this mesh, I'm going to take a nice long length. In fact, I don't need too long. I'm going to be doing it about there, I think. I have a reason. So I've taken this piece off Okay, any ideas what it is yet? It's slightly tacky, so when I turn my finger over, it's stuck to my finger. Okay, so it has got some mesh on here. So no ideas yet? I'm going to put it on this side and I'm going to be tapping this with my Versamark. Okay, so I don't know how in this heat, I don't know how fresh this is, but I'm going to give that a good coating like so. And I'm keeping it to one side of my, you actually know, well done. Okay, so that's good. So you need to get some out to play with because I'm going to teach you something you might not know. So I've kept my inky side over to one side here, and I'm now going to just lift that off. I'll try not to handle it too much because obviously I will knock that fingerprints onto it. So I'm lifting that up. I'm going to grab a pencil and I'm going to put a cross by that so I know that that's the sticky side. And I'm going to turn it over so we know this is nice and clean. Took this out of my printer earlier. So I'm going to lay that on there. The reason being, we are now going to tip some metallic embossing powder on here. Okay, so when we put powder on it, had I used this piece over here, it would have all these little holes in between the mesh. It would have left the Versamark on there and the powder would have come onto my scrap paper and would have wasted. And we don't want to waste it. So, I've got some little footsteps going over there. So what I'm using here, I've made this, I've put on here metals. So I've done techniques where I've used different types of the metal embossing powders. We have the black, we have the bronze, we have the copper, sorry, not bronze, copper, black, silver, white, and then I have heats and stick in there as well. So I'm going to use the metals. This is when I've had lots of bits left over. So in here, I suppose we could call it a bit of a pewter really, which is a mixture of all of them. So I just want to use a technique just to show you how this is all going to work out for you. So it should be enough to go over that. And because it's slightly tacky on the back, I'll leave that to one side. I'm just going to slew this around. We don't really want it to go on the back because it's got the sticky side, but we want this to be covered in the powder. Okay, so we're going to get that on there as much as we can. I've turned this over now, so it's going onto the embossing powder, the Versamark powder. Okay, and there's a little bit this side that hasn't got. I always cut this bigger than what I want. So I'm going to use the corners with my tweezers and just get some along this side. Just slew it round in there. Or you could tip it back into the pot and come out again with it. So I think we're good on there. So I'm going to place this on this side and I'm going to tip this back into my pot. Okay, so we just cup that and tip it in. I have got the new embossing caddy. It's really good. It's just not out and visible at the moment. So these has all gone back into my metals pot, so it's got a bit of a mixture in there. Now sometimes, believe it or not, when you're using these, you get a little bit of fluff or something in there, and I can see that there's just a little hair or something that's got in there. Because you have fluff on your desk, just probably an odd cat's hair might get in there as well, of course. So what I'm going to do is lay that back on there. It's nicely covered, and I'm going to melt it. Okay. So I'm going to lift it off the wooden block. The wooden block is good because it saves you melting your mats, and you don't want to heat them. But it's also it will bounce. The heat won't travel through it, so it can overheat a little bit. But I do like using it sometimes. So the colour I've got on here is a real mix of all our metals. Okay, so hopefully you can see that on there. I'm going to bring it up to the camera. The light in here isn't terribly brilliant, even though the spots are on. You won't really be able to see that very well, will you? It's actually come out like a pewter, I think. So it's a bit of everything. Okay, allow it to cool down just a little bit, and then you have your piece of mesh. Okay, like so. And once it's cooled down, it's good to touch. You can get rid of these. Okay, I will put them on the floor, down there. And we have this beautiful piece. Okay, and you haven't seen Smudge for a while. She was here earlier. She was meowing. She's been asking for treats, but she was a bit poorly last night, so we're cutting back a bit on the treats today. So it's lovely metallic sheen to it. And as you know, it started off, where did I put the roll here? It started off like this. Okay, so if I lay that on top there, you'll see it's quite a difference. So that's without and this is with. Okay, so you can see how that works. So we have got a nice range of metallics there to use. So when I saw this set, I kind of saw this as being, I've got bits everywhere, look. Let me just get a piece of kitchen roller and just wipe that all down. No matter how careful you are, there's always stray bits of powder. So when I saw this, I thought that this would make a good nest. Okay, so the basic shape for the nest is here. So we have two ways of doing this. We pop this onto a block, let it just rest, and then just pick it up. So I have some soft suede here, and I'm going to grab a scrap of Whisper white card. And then I'm going to stamp this onto here. Okay, the reason I'm going to do this is I'm going to cut this out by hand. We've got two different things going on here. I won't be using this piece tonight, but it's going to be my template. Okay, so I'll use that as a template. Okay, there we go. The other thing, Shaz, in this heat, they are just far too hot, bless them. And Tiggs is even worse because he's got such a thick coat. So yeah, they do try and get anywhere it's nice and cool. So I'm just going to grab my glasses, if I can find where I put them. Oh, they're here somewhere, there. And I'm just going to fussy cut this. And once I've fussy cut it, I'm going to use this as my template for tonight. But then I'm also then going to have one ready done for another project later on. And I will save this and put this in the box with my stamps. Okay, so I'm just fussy cutting around that. And you know my rule, you move the card, not the scissors. So your scissors stay put. You can even rest your hand on the table. And there is your shape. Okay, that can go in the bin. So now I'm going to use this as a template. Okay, so I'm going to draw around this, just cut around it, and have this. I'm going to turn that slightly on its side. Hope you can see that on the camera. Let's put that white piece of paper back. There we go. So you can see me through here. That might help. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cut along the top of that. Okay, and cut that piece off. There's enough there to do another one. And turn it round. Now, if you caught me at the beginning, I said that this is slightly tacky on the back. Okay, then the tackiness will actually disappear really. It is enough just to stick it to a piece of paper, but it's not enough to hold it to your card. It's still got some tack there because it's sitting on my finger, but it really isn't that strong for your card, so you need to have some other glue on there when we stick it down. Now there is my new nest. So instead of having this stamped one, we're actually going to have it as a bit of a mesh. Way too hot for animals, absolutely. We've got a couple of massive fans and I've had to switch the one on and off in this room, so Anna and I are getting extremely warm. So hence I've got a drink here to try and keep me cool. So I'm going to pop this one back in my case and I will use that on another project. Okay, so that's going to be the basis of my one of my cards. Now I'm going to leave that over to the side there so I can find it. Now I wanted to show you some, I didn't know what cards to use tonight. So I have been playing with the note cards and envelopes from Celebration. So these are the pool party and the soft sea foam cards and note cards and envelopes that are one of the free items as a £45 spend. So you get 10 of these cards, 10 of these cards and 20 of the envelopes. So they all go together nicely. Okay, really pretty. Now I've done a couple of cards with using the trees. So I thought I might actually stick to the blue one this evening. Oh, and actually green would probably go better because it's like, blue is like the sky and green is like the grass. So let's just split the difference. I haven't done a blue one yet. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to grab my piece that I've laid down. Now who is watching me and saw where I put these down? Oh, it's here. It's on my piece of paper. I'll bring that back. Okay, so that's going to be the basis of my nest on here. So I'm going to go back to stamping my my twigs here. I'll take this one off. We've finished with this one, but it's not cleaned yet. So I'm just going to put that in the lid and pick up my branch. So I'm going to use things that I didn't use on Sunday if I can help it. So I'm going to have this one just coming down as a bit of a sweep. And I have my soft suede again. I have re-inked it since Sunday. It wasn't performing very well. So it has had a re-ink on there. Just looking and checking if there's any more messages. So give that a good inking. It's not very even on there, so just a little bit more. Okay, and we're going to come down here. I want it slanting at a slight angle. Okay, like so. I'm just going to say to Anna, the Stampin' Up blends that you've got up there, they will bleed through surfaces. Okay, so if you don't want them to go through the other side, it shouldn't matter on your project, I don't think, but it will bleed through to the inside. Okay, so just be careful with that. So that's that little lesson. So I have got the other birds today. I used the one with the punch. So today I'm going to use this one with the smaller one. All my other blocks have been used. So I'm going to have to use a bigger one. Now, I had the Tahitian Tide last time. I think I'm going to try. What colour do I want to do him? Oh, decisions. He's going to be coming this way. We're going to have a nest here, and we're going to pop the little bird coming out of the nest. Or sitting in the nest. Ideas, girls. What shall I have? Shall we have a red one? We could go with the other ink colours here. Let's go with this. I have some stamps on here I just need to move. So I'm going to try a red one. I'm not sure how this is going to look. So we will do this onto a scrap of card again. So if this piece was big enough, that would be fine on there. I'm going to have a trial on here and see how we go. Okay, so this is going to be covered nicely in, this is Sweet Sorbet, so this is another of the ink colours. Okay, I'm going to stamp him on there. He needs to be on a white background, I think. There we go. He's a little, these ink pads are so3fresh. They're so juicy. I'm just going to try another piece and just see how that turns out on another one. There might be some scraps in here actually. It's kind of a small piece so I don't waste my card. There's a piece. There we go. And just see if we can get that a little bit more even on the stamping. Okay, we'll go all over on there. And I'll stamp that in the corner. It would help if I had my mat, so let me use a catalogue again. Use the back of a catalogue. Okay. There we go. So we stamp that with a little bit of cushion under there. Because it's a photopolymer stamp, it really needs that extra little bit of difference. Now we can, I like this one better. We can actually just rectify some of those. That's good. And what else do I need to stamp on here? We have the little wing. I'm going to have the little one there. So we'll do him in a little block. Oops. Little stray piece of card there. Okay, and this is his body here, his breast. So I think I'm going to use a soft suede. See how this is going to look. I really just need some more hours in the day. It was 2 o'clock before I went to bed last night, so it's kind of like I really need an earlier night tonight. Kind of want to put him on there. Let's just leave that for a minute. I'm just going to try this, cutting this one out. The punch that we have is lovely. It actually matches with the big bird, but I was going to use the smaller one today because these are note cards. These are the American size note cards. I think these are actually A2 size. So let's bring the glasses down and just fussy cut this one. So just round here a little bit. Okay, I like to leave a little bit of white, but I think this one's going to come quite close too. So there's no outside pieces. Okay, in there, take that little piece out. Literally melting in here. Where is everybody else phoning from? What's your temperatures like at the moment? I know we've got a heat wave here in Britain. In Europe, it's just getting quite a heat wave coming through. So I'm just cutting this one by hand. Like I say, the big bird has actually got a punch, which I used on Sunday. So I'm trying to use different things tonight to give you some variations. And I really like the look of this one being a nest with the metallics. Okay, so I'm just coming around here. Okay, and there's that little image. So I'll do this one first, and I'll just see how that's going to look on here. There we go. I'll come around here. Any images with straight lines are quite easy to fussy cut. So, you know me, I'm a fussy cut queen. I'm just cutting that slightly in those lines because when I did this the other day, I found that the stamps are kind of over this area, so it's a bit larger than that. So I want to just pop that in there, and he's going to be perfect. So I'm just going to stick that one down. Okay, I want to do a colour sample, so I just have a little sample of lots of different colour combinations on this one. I think that will be a weekend job. Okay, and then if we wanted the little beak, we could have the little beak stamped and cut out as well, or we could just, I don't think that's on the actual stamps there. Let's get the punch. And the punch here will cut that little heart out. It's a heart or a beak on there. So I'm going to make that stand out with a piece of the soft suede, just as in contrast to the red. Punch that out, just a tiny little one there. Put them away. And then we'll pick that one up. So this really needs to be flat on there. Okay, so I'm going to use that. I've finished that. And that. So I'm going to make this, if I place it on the card, you'll be able to see it more. So I'm going to have that as a little beak coming out like so. He does look a little bit eyeless, doesn't he? I need to stamp some eyes. Okey-doke. And that's going to come out there. So that's just his little beak. And his eyes. Now, if I go back to the stamp set in here, we do have a pair of eyes. They are in here. There's two different ones. You've got some little slitty eyes, and you've got some little dots eyes. I think I'll use the little dots ones here. Okay, I have another little block ready just to catch them on. I think we've got a very good project coming on over there. So this is a case of trying to get the eyes sensible and not going cross-eyed. I think I haven't done him on this one. Oh, this will be a trial and error. There we go. I think he's cute. He is nice. So let's get some branches onto the tree. So on the punch we have, I'm going to use this little teardroppy one here with some green card. I had some Granny Apple green here. There we go. And I'm going to use that to make some little leaves. We can stamp them. There's two different sizes, but I'm going to cut 3 different leaves out of there. Okay, I'll tip that out. So we just want the whole ones and get rid of all the other pieces. They can go on the floor for now. So get it out of the way. So these can come onto the ends of the branches, so we can have some little leaves coming off there. And if I just lay them down for now, and then I will come back and I will see what I'm going to put with those. Now, what I used the other day, there is a cute little flower in here, little tiny flower, and I'll use that one again. It does stain very quickly because I've used the red pigment in these. So the red pigment does kind of catch us. So I'll do some of these first. I like to test it on a little scrap when they're new. There we go, lovely and clear. So while I've put these here, I just want to have some little flowers coming round, and that's going to match in obviously with the little birdie. Okay, and a little one in there. Nice in threes. Okay, so now I'm back and I'm going to stick these ones down. Put your fan on. You won't be able, yes, it does look like a cardinal. If I put the fan on, believe me, it will drown you. It's a big floor flat fan, a big noisy beast. So I used to have a little handheld one and I left it somewhere, and that would be jolly good. I think, you know what, when I finish this, I think because of the heat wave coming up, I think I'm going to purchase another one. They're only about £12 from John Lewis, and I can have that sat in front of me on the desk, and I think that would be really good. So hey, that's going to be on. It's Amazon Prime Day today. If any of you've got Amazon Prime, it is Prime Day. Having done this like this, I'm now deciding that I need something behind there to make it a little bit more solid. So I'm going to grab a piece of my soft suede again. This will still look lovely on here, but I do need the grounding behind it. So it's going to give us the texture that I was looking for. Glasses down. So it's going to give us the texture. I'm going to try and bring this right up to you. Can you see that on there? The mesh on its own is very opaque. You're going to see the bird sitting on, in through the nest. But I wanted it a little bit darker than that. So I'm going to put that on there. You've still got the nice metallic grid look on there for it. So what we're going to do here, I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to stick it down on there first. Use that as my template. Just rubbing some of the Tombow over the back. I'm not putting it so it's really thick. I'm just dabbing it on and just scrubbing that along there on the wrong side. Okay, there will be powder on both sides because the nature of when you're shaking it. Okay, so press that on there and then we will cut that out. Like I say, the tackiness is only just enough just to hold it on your finger. It's not got a lot of weight to it. I haven't actually told you what it is yet, have I? So that roll that I've had there cost me many years ago. I mean a long while ago. And it cost me £3 something. It's actually Builder's Scrim. And I forget how I came across it or what I saw or somebody was using some and I just thought, what a fantastic idea. So, and I've been embossing with it, but I haven't. I'm trying to bring back lots of techniques that I haven't shown to new followers because obviously with COVID and going back online, or lots of us were going online, it's just one of those things that would, something a little bit different. So I'm going to pop that on there like so. So I've got three, a too large and a small. Get those out of the way. Bin that. So there's my nest, and I'm going to sit that in the tree like so. And now my little bird can come behind there, and he can actually be sitting outside just like so. It's raised up, so the bird could also be raised if you want. I think we might. A couple more on there. And then for the tail of the bird, I go for a little tiny piece from the borders here. In fact, that little piece there might be enough. Use every single piece of your dimensionals. There are some good pieces on there, all the borders. I use them all for different reasons. Okay, that's in there. So my little bird can come in there. And he can just have I want his tail just sticking out the edge there. So you can just see his wing, like so. There he is. Now it's not finished without having some, I'll have some bling in the middle of the little flowers down here. But what I want to do is the music notes next. So I've got my memento. And there's the music notes. So I'll lay those on there. And reuse my block. Oh, and that one. How did that get over there? Don't know where that jumped over there. I must have picked it up. Let's just wipe that. So these little music notes are really, really cute. Again, just because it's polymer, I'm going to just try this out on here again. Just make sure I season this a little bit. Work the black in nicely until I'm happy. Yes, that will do. So the bird is cheeping, so we do want some little musical notes out of there. And anybody who doesn't know, I used to be a musician, so I still am. I've got all my musical instruments here. I think that's probably enough. Otherwise he'll be singing for an orchestra instead of a one lonely little bird. Okie doke. So that kind of needs a little bit more bling on there. So it needs something on there, doesn't it? So let's get my gems. No, not those ones. I want some clear. There we go. Some small ones. I need a new packet of these got out, so I have got. I might do pearls. What I'm going to do is I'm just changing my mind here as we go, which is the reason I call it wing it, because I am just jumping around. One of these pearls has just stuck to my finger. So I'm going to pop these in the centre of these little flowers. Gives it a little bit of contrast, and it makes those little flowers stand out more. Oops, don't fall over, please. It's a hot night. I don't want messing about. Come on. It's gone now. Oh dear, would be when I'm on live. Does not want to stay. Okay, there we go. Finally caught you. There we go, just slide you into place. So I use, normally with these, I'll tell you what I should be doing. I take your pick tool, and then I can just slide them out, and then that will hold it there. I'm so used to using my tweezers to hold everything. My take your pick tool does do well. So there's 3 little flowers on there. I feel it needs something else. I don't know what. Because it looks like the sky. Any ideas? What do you fancy? What, a little bit extra on there? What else have we got in this set? Oh, sentiment might be handy. Oh, look. We have lots of sentiments in here. We didn't put the legs on here because obviously it's tucked in the nest and you can't see those ones. So we've got these ones I did on the other night on the plaque. It is cute on there, but I might have. It's your special day. You've got something to celebrate. A little birdie told me. I think a little birdie told me he's going to win tonight. Just got to find it now. Aha, Shaz. Smudge is coming to see you. If I speak nicely, Anna might go and let Smudge in. Yeah? You can go and let her in. She'll be fine. Make way for just open the door. She'll be good. Okay, so there's the little birdie told me. And then on the other side, I've got the little block of wood again. So on the block of wood, we have a soft suede ink. It might actually let some more air in. Smudge, come and say hello. So I've gone back to my wood grain. Now, as I said the other day, it needed re-inking. So now I've re-inked it. I'm going to stamp this one off because it will be very dark. So I'm stamping that one off, solid, and then I'm going to stamp the second one. Okay, to give it a paler image. Okay, so I'm actually going to stamp the greeting on this one. Just bring that up to the camera. You can see this is my re-inked ink pad, is the colour it should be. Then this is second generation. And there you go. Shaz does like to, she's saying she's missed you. Hey, she's missed you. So you haven't been performing, have you? So I'm just using this little one that says, a little birdie told me. Okay, so we're going to stamp that one in there. This is kind of in the way now. We move that over. And then we can see properly. There we go. And there we go. A little note of thanks. That didn't go well. I was going to do a little birdie told me, wasn't I? Picked the wrong one out of the pad. Okay, so we'll stamp that one off again. These will all get used. Nothing will waste. And then go in with a second generation. Okay, and then we'll use the other one. A little birdie told me. There we go. Look, exactly the same size. They look the same shape. So I'll use this one. There we go. I think when I finish, I'm going to need to go for a walk around the garden and cool down. There we go. So a little birdie told me. Yeah, sorry if my head was in the way. There we go. So I've got two there now. So we fussy cut this as well. Just have a slurp of my water. Revived me a little bit. So we have a little note of thanks on that one, and a little birdie told me on this one. Okay, so this wood isn't quite straight edges. You can cut it and rough cut it and whatever you want to do, but it's good as a little nugget of little tab just raised on here. And if you don't get it quite in the centre, I think I did this on Sunday, I didn't get the greeting quite in the centre, so I'm just going to take that a little bit narrower. Bring that down a little bit so the proportions are right, and we will put some dimensionals on the back of that. So I'll get one there and another one the other end. Okay, now if you've got any requests, I mean that was a different piece of embossing because I wanted to show you how I made the nest and made that foiled look. If you want any requests, then please do let me know. Just send me a little message somewhere on Facebook or on in the comments below. The comments on here don't actually transfer over. The program I use don't actually transfer over to the YouTube when it goes out live for the recorded, for the playback. So I can't see the comments on there. So if you just drop me a line somewhere else, that would be great. Now, I've got a big gap there. I kind of would like that there. So I think I'm going to stick that there. Okay, and then maybe just want another leaf there, I think. My little scraps. What went there? Oops, can't pick it up now. So, and then we have the punch. So we could actually have, oh, no, I think, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a little piece of the sweet sorbet. I'm going to make a little heart. So this little beak that we have on here really does look like a little heart, okay, in the corner there. It's also a beak, but it's going to be a heart now, and I'm going to put the little heart on the sign. Are you ready to show me your project? Is it finished? I think we're going to have a little showing in a minute. So if I put that on there, just on the corner there, we've got a little heart, just to give it a little bit more colour. Okay. So tonight really was about the embossing and the builder's scrim. Okay, so there's my little card, and these are the coordinating envelopes, so it goes with the pool party in here. So there we go. Okay. I still haven't got round to doing Christmas cards since Sunday. I said I really am itching to do this as a robin. Cardinal is the American birds, so, and it works with those colours. So there's my little card and the coordinating envelope, okay, on there. So it is a hot night, and I will be calling that one a day today. But please, I will be back here next Sunday, and I will be on Facebook, and I'll be back on here on YouTube on Wednesday. So like I say, please come along and join me. I'll bring you back to me, and then you can pass you over there. Thanks for joining me, and if you're watching on replay, then please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. And I am here every week, so please drop me a line if you've got anything that you would like to see demonstrated, or a technique or shape or fold. Okay, so go and cool down wherever you are. I hope you've got the fan on. Mine will go on very shortly, as soon as I get up from the chair. So, and yeah, it's going to be another hot week next week as well. I think Monday and Tuesday are going to be the worst here. So getting up to 35, I even saw 36 on Sunday. So we'll see what comes. So take care, stay